time with Chicago as a result of their loss to the Bears last week, but they'll get another shot at Chicago on Thanksgiving Day. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Hank Stram. Nice to have you with us today on CBS. The focus this week for these two teams on the quarterback position. Hank, here in Tampa, they had a quarterback controversy, but Chris Chandler was let go early in the week, and now it's Vinny Testaverde, clearly the #1 man.
Yeah, I don't think they should ever have a quarterback controversy here in Tampa, because I think Testaverde is a quarterback, should be the quarterback. He's a franchise player who does an excellent job. All he needs is consistency, continuity to stay healthy, and I think he's going to get the job done.
And in Detroit, Rodney Peete lost for the year. Erik Kramer stepped in last week. What about Erik Kramer?
Well, I saw Erik, when he first started back with the Atlanta Falcons during the strike year, and I was very, very impressed with him. He did an excellent job for Atlanta. He's got a good, strong arm, escapability skill, knows the system extremely well, bright and intelligent, calls the right things, recognizes situations, and I think he's going to do a super job for Detroit.
Steve Christie will kick off for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and it's Mel Gray back to receive the kickoff. Good kick by Christie. Gray caught it 7 yards deep. And the Lions will begin at the 20. As Hank mentioned, Erik Kramer, the starting quarterback. Second-year player out of North Carolina State, making his second NFL start today. The offensive line in front of him, Kevin Glover, the center. Eric Andelsek and Mike Utley are the guards. Lomas Brown and Eric Sanders are the tackles. And as always, Detroit begins the game with 4 wideouts. In the silver stretch, Barry Sanders lined up behind Kramer, and he gets the call. Sanders tripped up at the 25-yard line. Tony Covington, the safety, made the tackle. Up front for Tampa Bay, Tim Newton gets the start at nose guard. Gerald Nichols, Dexter Manley also up front. Keith McCants, Broderick Thomas, Jesse Solomon, Kevin Murphy, the linebackers. And in the secondary, Carl Carter and Ricky Reynolds, the corners. Marty Carter and Tony Covington, the safeties. 2nd and 5 for Detroit. Sanders to the right. Flag down on the play. If the play stands, it's a first down as Sanders is out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Hank, Wayne Fonts said yesterday they want Barry to touch the ball between 25 and 30 times today. Well,
I think he's a kind of a back that has to get a lot of carries, because the more he runs the ball, the better he gets. And I think he's better in the fourth quarter than he is the first, if you can imagine that, because he's such a great runner. That time, they pulled both guards on the play, Andelsek and Utley. They do that very rarely. That's a new play, I think, for them to go off tackle.
Tom White is the referee. Penalty is against Detroit, and undoubtedly Tampa Bay will accept it, since the carry by Sanders would have been good for a first down.
Personal foul, crackback, number 82, half the distance from the 30-yard line. Second down.
Robert Clark called for the penalty, so that moves Detroit back to its own 15-yard line and sets up 2nd down and 15.
We keep talking about the box an awful lot, and that means the area. How many people are in the area of the offensive lineman? There's 5 offensive linemen, and if you have 5 defensive linemen, you're going to run the ball.
Kramer's first pass, a short one to Sanders, and he could not get away from Jesse Solomon.
And the reason for running that kind of a play, they think if they can get the ball to him out in the flat, that one person will not be able to get him down. He's so elusive. Now here's a situation where we have the box. You got 3 down linemen, you got 3 linebackers. That's 6. And so now what you have really is you got 5 against 6. And normally, if you get 5 against 6, you're either going to throw the ball most of the time, or maybe run one side and come back to the other side away from the flow.
3rd down and 15. Three-man rush. Kramer was hit. It's a free ball. And now the referee, Tom White, says it was a fumble and a recovery by Tampa Bay. Some indecision among the officials, but they finally conferred. And Dexter Manley came up with the football after Newton hit Kramer.
Here again, we'll see on the right to the left side of our picture. Watch the right tackle. He goes inside of the right tackle, Sanders, and makes the sack. And he's very good at that. Most defensive ends will go up the field. Now he'll go up the field like he's going there and then cut inside, which he did that time on Sanders, number 64. And as a result, why they get the sack.
Now the officials are probably going to take a look at this one. Al Sabato is the replay official. Ruling on the field, as you heard Tom White say, was a fumble. But Tom White didn't seem sure. He hesitated a bit before making the call. And is this a forward pass?
It looks like he was trying to get rid of the ball and might have thrown it. Got the arm forward just enough to make it a forward pass.
Manley with the hit.
But again, Manley has a good move. He still has a good quickness, a good pass rusher. He doesn't play the run nearly as well, but he started outside of Sanders, the right tackle, and then came inside of Sanders and made the tackle.
Well, the question is, was Kramer's arm coming forward?
You know, you couldn't get a real good picture of it, but I got the feeling that he just flicked it enough where it looked like it might have been a forward pass.
This replay review has been more than a minute now.
After further review, the play stands as called. First down.
The play stands, a fumble recovered by Newton of Tampa Bay. So the Bucs have it in great field position at the 16-yard line of Detroit. Vinny Testaverde, the quarterback.
See if they run outside here. There they go.
They do with Reggie Cobb. He cuts inside, runs over a tackler to get to the 10-yard line. Vinny Testaverde returned to the starting lineup last week against the Minnesota Vikings. The offensive line, one change at left guard, where Tom McHale out of Cornell replaces John Bruin. Cobb and Wilson, the running backs. Wilson, the fullback. Cobb played fullback last year. Carrier and Dawsey, the wide receivers. Dawsey is enjoying an outstanding rookie year. Dennis Gibson was injured on the play for Detroit. Timeout with 12:27 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Having another terrific year. He had his best game of the season last week against Chicago. Spindler and Owens up front with ball. The linebackers, Jamison, Spielman, Gibson, and Hayward. Gibson hurt on the first play, run by Tampa Bay. Crockett and Jenkins both banged up in the secondary, and Blades had the flu on Thursday. William White, the other safety. 2nd and 5 for Tampa Bay. The Bucs at the 11-yard line of Detroit. No score, just underway in the first quarter. Cobb again with some running room. First down inside the 5. He's out of bounds at the 2. Tampa Bay getting a big break on the fumble by Erik Kramer, and they can certainly use the help. Their offense has been stagnant, particularly in the first half this season. Last 7 games, 42 first half possessions, and all the Bucs have to show for 2 field goals.
Tell you, the offensive line has really gotten off the ball in good shape the last 2 times they've run the ball, and Cobb loves, he said yesterday when talking to him, I asked about what formation he liked the best. He said the deep position from the eye, and that's what he ran the last play.
Number 70, Charles McCray, has reported as an eligible receiver. Cobb to the left behind the block of Wilson. He's stopped at the goal line. Victor Jones made the tackle.
You know, one thing that's very important when you play against Detroit, it's very important. Their nose guy, Jerry Ball, the very best in the National Football League. He's big and he's strong. The one thing you like to do against him is run outside to make him chase from the middle of the field, from the middle of the formation to the outside position. Most of the time he'll never get there because he gets tripped up by the linebackers and other people. where it puts a lot of pressure on him. What he likes for you to do is run right at it.
2nd and goal from inside the 1. Cobb again. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
They knew where they were going to run. They were going to run over Paul Gruber, the great tackle, number 74. Also, the left guard, McHale, is playing for the first time, number 73. He pulls outside and gets a good block, and also got a good block from the running back on the outside linebacker that got him in there for the score.
Steve Christie adds the extra point. You know the Bucs have struggled when that is just the 10th extra point for Christie this year. 7-0 Bucs. Back in a moment. Sean McDonough and Hank Stram back at Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers have grabbed the lead 7-0 on a 1-yard touchdown run by Reggie Cobb, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Christie with another good kickoff taken by Meldray at the goal line. And he stopped short of the 20. Robert Hardy made the tackle on special teams.
We're going to watch the blocking on the last touchdown, and he goes in motion, blocks out, but the play is extremely well operated, and the left guard, McHale, watch him, number 73, pulls on the play, gets a good block, but the backer, the running back, Reggie Cobb, sees a cavity inside, takes it, and goes in there for the touchdown. Great execution.
First time this year that the Bucs have scored a touchdown on their opening possession. They only needed to go 16 yards on 4 plays, all of them rushes by Cobb. The draw play to Sanders. He's thrown down at the line of scrimmage by Broderick Thomas.
Now here's what happens. They got 5 guys and they got 6 guys, and if you run against that 6 situation, why, you're going to be a man short and you're going to have a hard time running the football unless it's some kind of a cutback, which he was not able to do. The Bucs did a great job of swarming to the ball and making the tackle.
Officially a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11 as we approach 10 minutes left in the first quarter. McCants coming on a blitz. Kramer's pass incomplete. He was looking for Robert Clark.
Kramer hung in the pocket good that time, Sean. He really did. He felt a rush, but he stayed in there, threw the ball downfield, but it wasn't complete. But at least he showed a lot of poise throwing the football from the pocket.
I think that's the thing you have to be impressed with most about Erik Kramer in the limited time that Lions fans have watched him play. He's very poised for a guy with very little experience.
Yeah, that's a good observation. It really is, because a lot of guys would get the happy feet and start doing a little tap dance back there, but he didn't do that on that last play.
3rd down and 11. The Bucs lead 7-0. This time a 3-man rush. Kramer with plenty of time. Flag thrown to the backfield. Sanders down short of a first down at the 25. But let's check out the flag back at the 10-yard line. It's a holding call against Detroit. That will be declined, and the Lions will have to punt.
And there was a great illustration of trying to get the ball to Sanders and make a linebacker or a halfback miss.
Holding. Number 64 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That was Eric Sanders, the right tackle, guilty of holding.
Broderick Thomas, number 51, was right there to make a tackle, but Sanders made a move and came inside, made him miss, but he didn't make enough yardage for the first down. But a great illustration of what terrific running ability Sanders has when he has one-on-one.
Willie Drury waiting for the punt from Jim Arnold. These are the 2 worst teams in the NFL in net punting. They have a tough time covering punts. Short, wobbly kick. Fielded on the bounce by Drury. Started at the 35. He's out of bounds at the 43. And now a skirmish along the far sideline. But no flags thrown. 41-yard punt and an 8-yard return. 9:16 to play in the first. 7-0 Tampa Bay with 9:16 to play in the first quarter. The Buccaneers about to go on offense for the second time, led by Vinny Testaverde. He seemed very relaxed this week, Hank, knowing again now for certain that he is the #1 quarterback.
Well, I think he's a kind of a, you know, they're all little boys with big bodies. And you have to understand that. You don't have to know what buttons to push. And he's a guy that needs some love and attention and encouragement and confidence. And that's what he needs, and that's what you have to give him to make that ability be expressed. See if they run outside again. Here they go.
They do. Again, it's Reggie Cobb. Tampa Bay has run 5 plays. There have been 5 rushes by Cobb. That one a gain out to the 47.
And there's another illustration of running outside. They're going to try to tire, I think, Jerry Ball, the great nose man. He, again, I mentioned earlier, he loves for people to challenge him straight ahead. Watch him now. He gets across the line of scrimmage. Now he has to stumble through some people, run from the middle of the formation all the way across the field and not get a chance to hit anybody. That's what he doesn't like.
2nd down, 7. Cobb for the 6th time. And he stumbles and goes down at the 48-yard line, a gain of 1. Now for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Sean, at the House of Pain in Houston, the Oilers are the first ones to get hurt. Greg Montgomery's punt blocked by Isaac Holt. Robert Williams, 18 yards for the touchdown, and the Cowboys are on top early, 7-0. Sean?
Houston a favorite in that game, Hank, but Dallas, much improved team.
Yeah, they are. They're moving along. Not many people are talking about them very much, but they're sneaking along and they continue to win. They're a fine young football team.
4 wide receivers into the game on 3rd down. The pass caught but short of a 1st down. Lawrence Dawsey, the rookie out of Florida State, with the reception in Detroit territory at the 48, but he needed to reach the 46.
Good pass protection. Good pass protection on the play. He had all the time in the world to stand back there, look at the receiver, step through, and follow through. Watch that pass protection. Very good. And that's the key. They give him a chance to step through and follow through.
Mark Royals is the punter in his 2nd year out of Appalachian State. And Mel Gray is waiting for the punt. They block it. Herb Welch blocked the punt for Detroit. And the Lions will get it at the 41-yard line.
One thing you can't do, Welch, number 27. It looks like he comes right up the middle. Watch him now. He's going to come over the right guard, right over the right guard area. There he comes. Nobody touches him. He gets a free shot. He sacrifices his body, gets the hands out in front, blocks the ball, and a great play by the specialty teams, especially Welch, number 27 for the Detroit Lions.
Pretty talented block for Herb Welch as well, that he can make the ball spin like that. He's the former New York Giant, member of their Super Bowl team back in the mid-'80s. And they also played for the Washington Redskins. Sanders still can't get on track. Thrown for a loss back at the 39 by Tim Newton.
Here again, they had 6 guys on defense, 5 against the offense, and as a result, they couldn't penetrate the 6 and got caught in the backfield for a loss on the play by Newton.
Tampa Bay has a 7-0 lead with 6:20 to go in the first quarter. It has been almost exclusively Barry Sanders for the Lion offense to this point. Whistle stopped the play as Dexter Manley was a bit anxious coming across the line of scrimmage.
You know, when they're in that double slot, when they got their silver stretch, it looks like they can throw outside patterns to the men in the slot because the linebackers are in there pretty tight.
Number 92 defense in the offensive backfield prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down. All right, here we go.
Manley starting for the 3rd straight week as Ray Seals is out with a sprained ankle. Second down and 6. Kramer again with lots of time, dumped it off to Sanders. Good move to elude a tackle. And he has a first down in Tampa Bay territory at the 46-yard line. A gain of 9 for Detroit.
Again, very good poise on Kramer's part. And there's a flat we just talked about a moment ago. He rolled, semi-rolled to the right side, got everything moving in that direction, and then spotted Sanders in the flat on the left side. And again, just give him the ball, let him do his thing. And that's exactly what he did. Made a nice gain on the play.
First and 10 Detroit at the Tampa Bay 45. Kramer again dumps it off. Barry Sanders close to another first down. He appears to have it at the 34-yard line before Broderick Thomas made the tackle. A gain of 11.
Now we'll see Sanders again. Look at him all the way back in his 2-point stance. He goes to his right and then comes back on a screen across the formation. There he is. And all you have to do is get him the ball. He'll set up blocks. A good block up front by Utley looked like. And as a result, why they pick up another nice game. Okay, Sanders is murdered.
First and 10 at the Tampa Bay 34. Kramer wide open. Brett Perriman inside the 10 and down at the 3-yard line. Alonzo Hampton saved the touchdown.
A good read by Kramer. He was looking to hit somebody in the flat. And he saw the void in the zone, the space in the zone, and he hits the receiver right in that area. Watch, he rolls right and right down the seam. There you see it. A missed tackle, bad tackling on the part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he takes it all the way down there for another big gain.
Then you saw Alonzo Hampton, who did make the tackle, trying to strip the ball at the end of the run. A gain of 32. First and goal for Detroit at the 2-yard line.
See, now they have a different personality offensively. They come in with their 2 tight ends.
And Erik Kramer's asked for a timeout. 7-0 Bucks, but the Lions are on the doorstep. As you look in the huddle, you see number 99 to the right of Erik Kramer. That's Tracy Hayworth, ordinarily a linebacker, but he's going to line up in the backfield along with Barry Sanders. On first and goal from the 2.
See if they run left, they're pointed that direction.
They run left with Sanders, and he stopped short of the goal line. Lions have now run 12 offensive plays, and 9 of them have involved Barry Sanders. He's rushed 5 times and been on the receiving end of 4 passes from Kramer.
We get a look at Hayward blocking out her front. He gets his body on somebody, but they cave it in, and he doesn't make the yardage necessary for the first down or for the touchdown.
Second and goal from the 1. Sanders up and over. Touchdown, Detroit.
We'll watch him see if he gets over the top and crosses the plane. Look at him leap over the top.
Wow, is that close?
That is close. I guarantee it, that is close. If he got over, the point of the ball might have broken the plane, but not by much. Oh, that's a little better shot there. Yeah, he broke it.
Then play continues as Eddie Murray adds the extra point. He's now made 90 consecutive PATs. An impressive drive by the Lions. And with 2:37 left in the first quarter, We're now tied at 7 at Tampa Stadium. Sean McDonough and Hank Stram for the second meeting of the season between these two rivals. And Hank, perhaps a little bit of a break today for Detroit in terms of the weather. It is a very cool afternoon, and a lot of Lions had the flu this week. They were worried about stamina.
Yeah, that would really been a problem if it was a hot afternoon for them, because they're a lot weaker than they normally would be because of the flu. They had about 12 guys have it. But it's a nice, cool day, nice afternoon, and so that shouldn't affect them at all this afternoon.
Don't be deceived at home by the sunshine here in Tampa. As you can see, it's 54 degrees and with a cool wind as well.
A little chilliness in the air, a little chilliness.
Yes, indeed it is.
Well, the silver stretch looked good, didn't it? Made it look easy. Moved the ball right down the field, a pretty good balance. And of course, here again, anytime you give Sanders a crack, he's going to make a big cavity out of it and make yardage.
That drive went 59 yards following the block punt by Herb Welch. 6 plays. It took 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And Willie Drury is back waiting for the kickoff from Eddie Murray.
And again, when you're a struggling team and you're finding a personality and trying to win, you cannot have plays like that happen to you. And that's been the problem with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can't let the specialty teams let you down. If anything, they have to help you win the games, not help you lose.
Willie Drury finds a hole, and he's out to the 39-yard line. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS continues with doubleheader action. In the early game, most of you will see Minnesota and Green Bay. Then in the late games, you'll see either Dallas and the New York Giants or the Los Angeles Rams and Detroit. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, the last word before kickoff. The Rams here scouting the Lions today. Saw Jack Faulkner, the very capable administrator of football operations for Los Angeles.
I didn't get a chance to see him. I just saw Abe Gibber, the great player for the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns, and coached here for such a long period of time.
Testaverde to throw. Set up a screen. Nicely set up to Reggie Cobb. First down and more. All the way to the 40-yard line of Detroit.
Mayberry, the center, got a good block downfield. It was a misdirection screen. They faked to the right and brought Cobb back over across the formation. The play was executed beautifully. The defensive right end rushed just like you wanted him to do. The area was wide open, and the center, Mayberry, he gets out in front. Look at the fake there. Watch Mayberry, number 51, out in front. Now, there he is. He's looking at the inside, but he gets downfield. There he is out in front, and gets a good block downfield and provides Cobb with an opportunity to make extra yardage on the play.
And how about the play by Jerry Ball? That was the nose guard, 20 yards downfield, making the tackle at 328 pounds. He even admitted to us yesterday he's 328 pounds.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize he was a fullback in college.
Back to Reggie Cobb. The running play gains 3 to the 37. We're under a minute and a half to play in the first quarter.
Cobb was a running back at SMU, weighed about 248 pounds. They wanted to get him pumped up so he could play defensively. They pumped him up, and then he got bigger and bigger and bigger. Became a defensive lineman, and of course he's now one of the very best in the league.
The Pro Bowler the last 2 years, Jerry Ball. We took down to a minute to play in the first quarter. Last week at Chicago, a season high 7 solo tackles for Ball, and also his first sack of the year. 2nd and 7. Flag down as Testaverde finds the tight end Ron Hall for a gain that would be short of the first down by about a yard. The flag thrown at the line of scrimmage.
Hall came into this game with 24 catches. Or 19 catches, I should say, but only averaged 7.6 per catch. He's a much better receiver that has been trouble with injuries.
Penalty against Tampa Bay for illegal procedure. They said the left tackle Paul Gruber, number 74, was not lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Hey, look at this. We talked about Dallas, 10-0.
And Cincinnati looking for its second win in a row. After the penalty, 2nd and 12 with 27 seconds left in the quarter. Lots of time, tipped ball, and nearly intercepted. William White had a shot at it after the deflection.
Watch Jerry Ball now, number 93. Watch him get double teamed, and he's in the crack, and he has to be double teamed on this kind of a play because he occupies that gap, so two guys got him. And the pass protection was pretty good. You got to be careful with him. However, you knock him back too far back where the linebackers are. He's got good leaping ability for as big as he is, and he almost slapped the ball down.
4 wideouts into the game for Tampa Bay on 3rd down and 12. Testaverde keeps backing up, and then he threw it away. It was in the direction of Mark Carrier, and now a flag throws late, and the referee, Tom White, is going to say that that was intentional grounding. I'm surprised at that call. He did appear to be throwing it away, but Carrier was close enough that ordinarily Vinny would get the benefit of the doubt.
I would think so. It wasn't like he threw it out of bounds. It looked like there was an
intentional grounding. Number 14, the ball he placed at the spot of the pass, lost it down.
We'll take a look at the whole picture from high above. This time, watching, he's back, trying to look for somebody who was open. Then he finally throws back against the grain.
Carrier stopped running, but any attempt to throw it away to avoid a loss is supposed to be grounding, and that did appear to be Vinny's intention.
Yeah, I think, and of course, you have to understand, too, that the referee is the only one who can make that call. It's his judgment.
Question is, could he see Carrier all the way down the field from as far behind the line of scrimmage as he was?
If he was up here with us, he could have. Down there, I got it.
Royals punt goes out inside the 1. A 56-yard punt that goes out at the 1. That'll make him feel a whole lot better after the blocked punt moments ago. That is the end of the first quarter with the score Detroit 7 and Tampa Bay 7. Hank, Erik Kramer is a quarterback. Rodney Pete's injured, but fans around the country might be asking, where's Andre Ware?
Well, I think, talking to Wayne Fonts and the coaches yesterday, a year ago I asked Wayne Fonts about Ware, and he said, well, if we're 100 points ahead or 100 points behind, he'll play. They're not talking that way about him anymore. They think he's very close to being where he should be. He's really like a rookie right now, and they think he's got a great future, and they think he's going to be terrific for the franchise as the years pass.
Ware's not seen any action this year. The Lions have signed Chuck Long again. 1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line on the first play of the second quarter. Sanders drives it out to the 2, perhaps the 3-yard line, tackled by Tim Newton.
And here again, they used two tight ends on that formation. They're actually not tight ends, linemen, but they occupy. They want to make sure they get ahead on everybody, and they just run straight ahead with straight ahead blocking to avoid penetration and just get a little running room. Ordinarily, maybe you're worried about a young quarterback. You say like Erik, but he's really not a young quarterback. He's been in the league for 5 years, so he'll do what he has to do down in this area.
7 carries for Sanders for 11 yards rushing.
Want to run left here. They got some room over the left guard if they're going to run.
Kramer might be changing the play on 2nd and 9.
I think he wants somebody to go in motion. They got their cleats stuck in the turf. Couldn't get out of there. Or missed the call or something. He was looking to his right, which indicated to me that he was trying to get the wingback to go in motion, perhaps, but he didn't.
Delay a game. Offense. Prior to the snap. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
So they go back to the 1-yard line.
And that's not much of a penalty. That's better than taking a timeout. You only lose a half a yard or a yard on the play.
2nd and 10. 7-7 the score early in the second quarter. Now they go back to a spread formation. Kramer got it off to Mike Farr, and he is belted back by Marty Carter, the safety. Short of a first down as the play to Farr went to the 10-yard line.
But the nice thing about that kind of a play, you got out of the soup, and if you have to kick the ball, at least you got a little bit more room, and you don't have to kick from deep in your own end zone.
And the soup's a little chilly here in Tampa today.
Yeah, that's right. More like goulash down here now.
They haven't asked Kramer to do much. Most of the passes have been short, but he's been effective. 6 of 7. Looking at 3rd and 1. And movement. And the Bucs say that Lomas Brown drew them offside as Tim Newton came across.
You know why they say he was offside?
Because they were right.
That's right. They were right.
Lomas Brown, the Pro Bowler.
75 offense, moving prior to the snap, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
7th-year man out of Florida, Lomas Brown. Went to his first Pro Bowl last year. Today is his 67th consecutive start.
And he's big and he's strong, and he stands in that white line. The line starts to wiggle a little bit. A lot of weight on that line.
3rd and 6. Lions backed up to their own 5.
Ought to throw the ball in the right flat here or the left flat. They'd have a chance to get out of there again. See what they do. There they go in left.
They go to the draw with Sanders. He stopped short of a first down. Tony Covington, the tackle at the 8-yard line.
Oh, you talk about good team pursuit that time. It looked like he was going to make the yardage, and all of a sudden, the stadium fell in on him. Didn't make the yardage.
Give the Bucs credit. Coach Williamson said they had their best week of practice of the entire season this week. They're 1-8. They're obviously playing with a lot of intensity here today.
Well, they said they're 1-8, but they practice like they're 8-1, and that's great. I think, you know, you can just get so low as a football team. You get lower and lower. Finally, you hit bottom, and then you got to bounce back up. And I think that's maybe where this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is right now. They're on the way up a little bit.
Willie Drury waiting for the punt from Jim Arnold.
They ought to come out of here with good field position.
Drury from his own 46. He brought it back to the 50-yard line. Toby Castone made the tackle for Detroit. The Bucs go on offense in a 7-7 game when we come back.
This game summary is sponsored by Coors Light.
And a couple of big numbers on the game summary. The one Detroit turnover, the fumble by Kramer at his own 16-yard line, led to the Tampa Bay score by Reggie Cobb, who's been the bulk of the Tampa Bay offense to this point. They've given the ball to Barry Sanders 12 times already, and Tampa Bay's done a nice job defending him against the run.
And that's a good scheme. That's a good game plan for Detroit. Make sure you get the ball to Sanders as many times as you possibly can, because if you throw enough stuff up against the wall, some of it's bound to stick, and that's what his situation is. You can stop him for a play or two, and then all of a sudden it's the bye-bye Blues. Touchdown.
They've run Sanders 8 times, and he's caught 4. And it's Tampa Bay with the ball at midfield in a 7-7 game.
Reverse.
Gary Anderson with some blockers. First down, Tampa Bay at the Lion 36. A great block out in front of the play by Ian Beckles, number 62, the right guard.
You don't see that kind of a block very much in the open field. Beckles, pulling from his guard position, got out there in great shape. Watch the flow of the defense. Look at all going to the right. The ball comes back to the left side. Now watch right out here. Watch Beckles. Look at that block. Puts it right on his back. The old pancake job. And he picked up a nice gain on the play. Crockett was the one that got hit on the play.
Now Lonzo Highsmith has joined Reggie Cobb in the backfield. Highsmith wearing number 32.
See if they run left here. They do. No, it's a bootleg.
It is indeed. Good. Not what you'd expect from Testaverde, but how about that run? Collared down by Benny Blades, but they call him slow-footed Vinny Testaverde. He had a couple of nifty moves to avoid a loss.
Yeah, he's deceptive. He's got a lot better speed than you think he has. And it's good when he takes off sometimes and breaks the keys and runs himself, because I think the quarterback during the course of a season, it's hard to play 11 against 10 for 16 games. And so if the quarterback moves, you got 11 on 11 and you got more of a chance.
So Coach Williamson and his staff digging into the playbook. A reverse with Anderson on the first play, then a bootleg with Testaverde. The bootleg picked up 3, 2nd and 7. From the Detroit 33-yard line. The pass is caught by Lawrence Dossie. First down, Tampa Bay at the line, 13 and 19-yard pickup.
See, that's the nice thing about Testaverde is that he's 6'5". He stands in the pocket. He can see over the offensive line and defensive people, the linebackers. He had all the time in the world here to throw. Watch this now. Good blocking. It looked like by Wilson. And he gets the ball right in the numbers in his own defense. Hits the seam. That's the pattern he loves to throw.
Lawrence Dossie came into the game leading all NFL rookies in receiving yardage. Cobb, again, some good blocks, and Cobb is inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. Dennis Gibson made the tackle.
The approach for the game is very good, I think, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because really what they're trying to do is keep Jerry Ball out of the game. You know, he's such a dominant guy in that defense that if you make him run from side to side, he doesn't have nearly as much of an opportunity to make the plays that he likes to make when he run right at him up the middle.
Second down, 4 for Tampa Bay. 7-7 the score. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Cobb lunging for the first down. He's going to be about a yard short. William White, the safety, made the tackle. George Jameson and Alonzo Highsmith had to be separated after the play.
And we got to watch Highsmith too. Boy, he's a great blocker. He's a load. You look at him and you think he ought to be playing linebacker or defensive end.
There's Alonzo Highsmith, joined the Buccaneers after being waived by Dallas on October 4th. 3rd and 1 from just inside the 5. Cobb has the first down. Ray Crockett made the tackle. Cobb needed to reach the 3, and he got just inside the 3 for a Tampa Bay first down.
Now you wonder maybe why are they running so much to the left side. They're running there because they have a fine tight end blocking there. They've got Gruber, the left tackle, who is a terrific player, and also McHale also is doing a good job. He started the season at left guard. They benched him, and now he's back in business and is doing a very good job, number 73, at the left guard position.
7th play of the drive. Testaverde into the end zone, incomplete. The nearest man was Charles McCray, ordinarily a tackle. He had checked in as an eligible receiver.
There's another good illustration of how nice it is to be 6'5" at the quarterback spot. Had he not been that tall, he'd have been sacked. He was able to see over the top of people, just got rid of the ball in time and avoided the sack, which is a good play on the part of the quarterback, Testaverde.
Second and goal from the 3. 7-7 the score.
Play action to the right side would be good. They're going left.
With Cobb. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
Wayne Fonts, before the game, talked to him yesterday. He says, I'm concerned about this game because really the Buccaneers are a lot better team than their record would lead you to believe. Watch what happens here. Watch McHale again, number 73. He's pulling through the hole, gets a block out in front, just enough of a push that provides Cobb with an opportunity to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
And Steve Christie, the native Canadian, added the extra point. 14-7 Tampa Bay midway through the second quarter. The Buccaneers came into this game averaging just better than 10 points per game for the season. They've already scored 14 and they lead 14-7 following a 50-yard drive. Took 8 plays, finished off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Reggie Cobb, his second touchdown of the game. Christie kicks off. And Mel Gray will bring it out from 5 yards deep. Bad decision as he goes down to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, he's got to know where he is. If it goes more than 3 yards deep in the end zone, he's got to down the ball.
Tackle made by Terry Anthony. And there's a blocking foul against Detroit on the run back. That'll pin them even deeper.
See, that's what happens to you if you're not careful. You get behind, then all of a sudden you want to get to 7 points back in one play. You got to be thinking all the time and anticipate before the ball is kicked. What happens if I'm going to stand here 3 yards deep in the end zone?
Going to return half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
And if it's a low ball, comes right to me, I'll take it. If not, I'll down it in the end zone, take it on the blocks. He gets on blades. He pulls through the hole, and the play opens up beautifully. Goes in there for the touchdown. Here we go. Look at the block by Highschmidt. Beautiful job on the safety blades. They provided him running room, got him in there for the touchdown.
On first down, Kramer hit Willie Green for a short gain out to the 13-yard line. The Lions working with difficult field position throughout this first half. Their average start has been at their own 18-yard line. On their last possession, they began at the 1. This possession started at the 8. Second and 4. Kramer eludes Jesse Solomon and throws incomplete. Intended for Mike Farr.
That's intended for Mike Farr.
Yeah, field position has been very tough for the Lions. They started the game on their own 20, and then 18, minus 18, minus 41, and then minus 1. So, you know, they've been in the soup most of the time, and as a result haven't had much of an opportunity really to open up their offense and take advantage of the situations.
And Detroit gave Tampa Bay great field position for the Bucs' first offensive possession on their own 16-yard line. Tampa Bay punched it in from 16 yards out. That's the big reason why their average start has been at the Detroit 46. Kramer. Incomplete. Looking for Clark. Ricky Reynolds had the coverage.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are saying we're going to put 6 and 7 guys in the box. We're going to take away Sanders. And if you're going to beat us, you beat us throwing the football. And so far they haven't been very efficient.
Were you surprised the Lions went 3 plays in that series without even looking at Barry Sanders?
Yes, I was. Yep, I surely was. But again, there again, they got 6 and 7 in that box. They're outmanned 5 to 7, and so or 7 to 5. So they got to throw the ball, and if they don't complete those passes and don't express a real good efficiency on those passes, why they're going to be in trouble.
Jim Arnold the punt. Very high kick. Drury calling for a fair catch. He couldn't make the fair catch, and as a result, the Lions got an extra 5 yards on the bounce. Tampa Bay begins at its own 39 when we return. CBS Sports welcomes you back to Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers have a 14-7 lead over the Detroit Lions. Sean McDonough and Hank Stram, happy to have you with us. You've watched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers score their first touchdown this season in the second quarter. All they had coming into this game of the second quarter was 12 points on 4 field goals prior to today.
And they've had the ball 9 times on 1st and 10 situations and have run the ball 7 times and threw it twice.
They're looking to throw on this first down. And Testaverde's going deep to a wide open carrier. It's a catch. It was very close to being out of bounds, but they rule him in at the 27-yard line. A 34-yard gain.
Testaverde is shaking his hand like he might have hit the top of a helmet as he followed through with that pass. I couldn't tell for sure, but he's shaking his hand. Evidently, it's nothing real serious, but he did get a shot on it. Now watch Lenny from the backs. Yeah, watch Vinny from the backside. I don't know what happened there. He got hit from the back by Hayworth, 99. But he came away shaking his hand, and I couldn't tell whether he got a shot at it or not. Oh, look at the hole there.
For Gary Anderson, and he's down to the 12-yard line. Vinny Blades and William White combined to save a touchdown for Detroit.
Over Rob Taylor and Beckles. Taylor was out of the lineup for a few games, and now he's back in there, and they seem to be doing a much better job with him playing tackle and McHale playing left guard.
There's Rob Taylor, 290-pound right tackle in his 6th year out of Northwestern. 15-yard gain for Anderson.
Well, time for him to run left. No.
Anderson cut back to the left, and he was tripped up by Mark Spindler, number 92.
I thought perhaps we'd see him run a sweep to the outside from the I formation. Anderson is so good at that. However, he runs outside so much they might have been trying to break the key and give him that formation like you're going to run outside and run up the middle. But it's tough. You're not going to fool ball very often.
Second and 10. Buccaneers trying to add to a 14-7 lead. Incomplete pass intended for Mark Carrier.
That time the outside receiver went inside and Carrier was in the slot on the right side, went outside. It looked like he didn't get his head turned around soon enough to locate the ball, and it went right through there like a basket. 2 points.
Carrier had a 56-game consecutive reception streak snapped last week when he was shut out at Minnesota.
I talked to him before the game, and he was all excited about the game, thought he was going to have a good day, and thought they had a great chance to win this game because of the way they practiced all week long.
Third down and 10. Great near catch by Wilson. Looked like he had it for a moment with a one-handed catch as the ball was thrown behind him, but he dropped it as he went to the ground. It's 4th and 10, and Richard Williamson sends the field goal team on.
Wilson is very important to this offense because he's such a tremendous blocker. Plus the fact that he hadn't carried the ball very much, but when he does, he averages about 3.67 per shot, so that's pretty good.
29-yard field goal try for Steve Christie. No problem, right down the middle.
Well, he had the radar hooked up to that one and went right through there like it had eyes, didn't it?
Indeed it did. The Buccaneers lead by 10. It's to play in the first half. Tampa Bay now with a 10-point lead at 17-7. Coming up next here on CBS, the Amoco Centel Championship. I'll tell you more about that golf event you'll want to be tuned to following football action this afternoon. It's Dave Levy, the offensive coordinator, talking it over with Wayne Fonts. Christie with a line drive kickoff. And Jeff Campbell will run this one out of the end zone. He stopped short of the 20. Robert Hardy tripped him up at the 17-yard line.
Off turn.
Yes, indeed it is. And a good one coming up following football this afternoon. Again, poor field position for the Lions. Kramer thrown down at the 15 by Broderick Thomas. His second sack of the day.
Good reaction, and this again is an illustration of the tremendous speed of Thomas. He reads it perfectly and makes the play on the sideline. Watch him, number 51 on the left side of your screen. Takes a step to the inside. Now he reads the quarterback as mirroring him. Look at in a good position, gets it, tackles a little high, but he gets the tackle anyway and makes the play. But good reaction by the part of Thomas, number 51.
Thomas had a huge game in the first meeting on September 29th at the Silverdome. 17 tackles in that one, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. On 2nd and 12, Kramer looking deep, and his pass was short of Willie Green.
Had good pass protection that time. It looks like they're trying to get the ball downfield, and it looks like they might be able to throw in the flats and then work downfield. But it's easy to make that observation when you're standing up here in the press box. A lot tougher when you're down on the sideline.
Kramer 7 of 11, but he's missed on his last 3 attempts. On 3rd down and 12. Kramer incomplete. This time too long for Willie Green. And the Lions have gone 3 downs and out now on 5 of their 6 possessions today.
We'll get a shot here looking at the left tackle, Lomas Brown, on McCants. Yeah, see, and then he goes to the outside, which is a good job. A good job because he blocks the first man, and then he switches off and blocks McCants coming to the outside. A very good play, and a very good expression of what it means to have experience and be able to pick up that kind of a stunt. Exactly what Lomas Brown did on the last play.
Drury waiting for Jim Arnold's punt. Good kick from his 35. Drury brought it back to the 48-yard line. Anthony Bell made the tackle. A 50-yard punt and a 13-yard return.
Field position is very important, as you know, Sean, but the important thing really about it is you got to get 7 points. You got to score when you get to field position. And there again, this is what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers must do on this particular good field situation opportunity.
17-7 Bucks.
They started the game running outside. They got away from it. Let's see if they go back to that here sometime soon.
Testaverde to the near side. Caught by Willie Drury. Out of bounds with a first down at the Lion 40-yard line. A gain of 11.
And again, you have to be impressed with the pass protection of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Testaverde has had a lot of time to throw the ball, and he's been very accurate, and that's what happens when you get pass protection.
Vinny said his mind was a lot more at ease now that Chris Chandler is no longer in the picture, and he's playing like a confident quarterback today. There he goes to the far side and caught. Again, it's Drury. Close to another first down at the 29-yard line.
We'll mix it up good. Good balance between the run and the pass.
2-minute warning. The Bucs on the move with a 17-7 lead. Games on CBS. There'll be a lot of surprise folks around the country.
Yeah, there really will be. The only thing we got to remember is a long way from being over.
1st and 10 Tampa Bay at the Detroit 29. Now they go to the ground, and it's Robert Wilson for a short gain. He picked up 2. It was tackled by Chris Spielman.
It was a bad read on his part. He had a hole on the left side over the left guard, and he made a quick decision, went right instead of left, and got himself in trouble on the play.
On 2nd and 8. Testaverde throws, caught by Lawrence Dawsey. He has a first down at the Lions 17-yard line, and the Buccaneers hurry up.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are very high in their praises about this young receiver. He's really been outstanding, good speed, and he's got great hands and runs well once he makes the catch.
And the Buccaneers use a timeout. Here at Tampa Stadium, Hank, the Detroit Lions looking for their first win of the year outdoors. Their 6 wins, 5 of them at home in the Silverdome, the other one in the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, and their first win on grass. But when we talked with Wayne Fonts yesterday, he said, well, if you look at the 3 teams we played on grass, Washington, San Francisco, and Chicago, there's really no shame in losing those guys on any surface.
Yeah, chances are you'd lose to them anyway. But the big thing about their offense today is their first touchdown drive was 59 yards. And the other 5 possessions, they've had a 23-yard total. That's bad.
First and 10, Tampa Bay at the Detroit 17. The delay to Gary Anderson. He's tripped up after a gain of 1 by Ray Crockett.
And that was a good call in that they were in a double zone, meaning the safeties were taking a deep outside. The corners were on the outside. You had the middle wide open. If you could spring somebody in the middle, it's a big gain.
Down to 1:05 left in the half. 2nd and 8. To the far sideline and incomplete. Looking for Carrier. He thought he caught it. Terry Taylor had the coverage.
That was a bad throw on the part of Testaverde. He had plenty of time. He held on to the ball too long, and that's why it went into the turf. Had he released it just a little sooner, it'd have been fine.
I think Mark Carrier thinks he caught the ball. Tough to tell, although they've showed that replay on the screen here in the stadium, and the fans thought he caught it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell for sure, very frankly, from that angle. I couldn't tell whether he caught it or not.
He did not stop for a replay review to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Lawrence Dawsey.
Crockett, number 39, good coverage on the play. Man-for-man coverage, good coverage. Crockett, number 39, he's in the slot. Look at, he's got outside leverage, in good shape. They double him inside-outside. The ball is thrown. He's got a bad shoulder. They didn't think he'd be able to play today, but he played. I talked to him before the game. He said, I'll play. I guarantee you, I'll play. So he did a good job of the coverage on the last flag pattern.
33-yard try by Christie is good. Well, he remains perfect on the day, and the Buccaneers extend their lead. It's 20-7 Tampa Bay with 46 seconds left in the half.
Detroit has 2 timeouts. Tampa Bay 3.
Steve Christie has done an excellent job as field goal kicker for Tampa Bay. He's a native Canadian. There are 2 native Canadians on the Buccaneers squad. Ian Beckles, the starting offensive guard, the other. Christie's out of William and Mary. Hank, an important game for the Detroit Lions. They were cruising along for a while, had the loss last week, and this is one of those games, if you're going to establish yourself as one of the better teams in the league, as the Lions are trying to do, you have to win this one.
Well, you have to win the games you're supposed to win. That doesn't, you know, because the record is such, talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, why you immediately think, why you should beat them. Again, they're a much better team than what the record would lead you to believe, but this is the kind of a game you got to win.
Belgray from the 5. Finds a hole. And he brought it all the way out to the 37. So for the first time today, good field position for the Lions after a 32-yard return.
You talk about lightning. Mel Gray is lightning. He's got the great capacity to make decisions. He makes them right or wrong, but most of the time they're right, and he's always flying straight ahead for that goal line. Tremendous, tremendous returner.
First 9 games of the season combined, only 25 points in the first half for Tampa Bay. They've almost equaled that in the first half this afternoon. They lead 20-7. Kramer throws, and it is intercepted by Tony Covington. It was deflected by Carl Carter and picked off by Covington.
Very good alert play by Covington, number 25. You hear the expression, follow the bouncing ball. That's exactly what he did in that last play and came up with the interception. And now they're in a good position to get another 3 or possibly another 7. Fading to his left a little bit, throwing outside. The ball bounces up into the air. Carter got a piece of it. Covington's got it. And again, they have good field position again.
3rd interception of the year for the rookie out of Virginia. From the 46, Testaverde caught. Great adjustment to the ball by Lawrence Dawsey, and he has a first down in Lion territory, and quickly the Bucs use a timeout.
I tell you can't cover a guy any better than that. Carter was right on him, number 44. He was a slot receiver on the play. Watch him. Second man in, makes an outside move, going right down outside the numbers. The ball is up in the air. Carter lost it completely, and he makes the interception on the play. It was Jenkins. I'm sorry, I saw the 4. It was Jenkins covering on the play.
And Dossie made his 4th reception. He was one of the members of the Fabulous 4. That's what they called the receivers when Dossie was an All-American last year at Florida State.
Well, they were talking about him on the field before the game, saying that he's a tremendous worker, greatly dedicated to what he's got to do. Every practice is like the most important practice in the world, and he's setting a great example for the other young people on his team. And he's also the veterans.
23 seconds to play in the half. 1st and 10, Tampa at the 32 of Detroit. Testaverde throws, incomplete, flag down, interference will be the call. Willie Drury was the intended receiver, and the guilty party was Sheldon White.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got him in the back before the ball got there. And that's another good opportunity for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Defense. First down.
We see it now from behind the defense. See what we see here on the play. There you see it coming in the picture. Definitely. He hit him before the ball got there. Pass interference on Sheldon White, number 25.
First down at the 19. 16 seconds left in the half. Bucs with 1 timeout remaining. To the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Robert Wilson, and it was batted away at the last moment by William White.
He read that perfectly. White, 35. Good anticipation. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown, and there he came from the inside and knocked the ball down. Great play by White.
Testaverde working on perhaps his best game of the season. 278 yards at Green Bay, his best performance this year.
I think there's a reason for it. The pass protection has been good. He's had plenty of time. The step throw, follow through, and that's what he has to have. That's what any quarterback has to have.
They went to the run with Robert Wilson, and he gained a healthy chunk of yardage, but not enough to pick up the first down. And the Bucs used their last timeout to get the field goal unit on. Be surprised by that call, Hank, in that he would have had to run all the way into the end zone to really have that play do you much good. You eliminate perhaps a higher chance to get a touchdown by not throwing.
Yeah, I think probably they felt that they just want, if they could get a big play, that's fine, but if they didn't, they'd be satisfied to get 3 more on the board. And probably that's what the mentality was about of that call.
Well, this field goal would put them ahead by more than 2 touchdowns. This will be a 30-yard field goal. And Christie remains perfect.
Boy,
there was a penalty on the play, but 23-7. Sean McDonough along with Hank Stram. And coach, you have to be impressed by what the Buccaneers accomplished both on the ground and in the air. On the ground, led by Reggie Cobb.
well, you know, the great thing about it is their offensive line has done a terrifically outstanding job here this afternoon, plus the fact that they put Rob Taylor at right tackle, where he was a starting tackle at the beginning of the season, and McHale, the left guard, is back where he was at the beginning of the season. They look like a totally different offensive team, and there's a great illustration of what happened on the touchdown run by Reggie Cobb.
2 touchdowns on the ground for Cobb today. Vinny Testaverde also getting the job done through the air. And the Buccaneer defense, they've taken Barry Sanders completely out of the game, at least on the ground in the first half.
Yeah, well, he's carried the ball only 8 times for 14 yards, but what they're doing, they're just saying, we're going to take him out of the game. We're not going to let him beat us. You beat us with a forward pass, and they haven't been able to do it so far, but it's a long way from being over.
Coach, do you think maybe the Lions got a little impatient and went away from Sanders very quickly when they got behind? Should they stick with him for a little bit longer?
Well, I think you know what happens if you have a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is if they got 6 or 7, we're going to throw the ball. If they got 5-on-5, we're going to run the ball. And so it's very obvious. All he does is count. The quarterback does the line of scrimmage. If they got 7, they're going to throw the ball. And so that's what the formula dictates, and that's what they've been trying to do, but they haven't been able to succeed with that course of action.
Eddie Murray to kick off. 23-7, Tampa Bay. Willie Drury. All the way back to midfield. The ball came loose. The officials indicating that he was down by contact at the 50-yard line after a 43-yard return.
See, the other thing about field position here again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earned the right to get the ball on the 50-yard line, a great return, but they've only had to go 50 yards for all of their drives, whereas the Lions had to go 80 on every drive they've had in this game.
This is already the most points that Tampa Bay has scored in a game this year. They did it in one half, 23 points.
Let's see if they try to go outside left here. This is what they tried to do at the beginning of the game. Let's see if they can come back to it. Nope.
Testaverde looking deep, and it is incomplete. Off the hands of Mark Carrier.
You know, you have to be impressed with Testaverde. He looks like he's on the attack. He's trying to make things happen. He's throwing very aggressively. There was a great illustration of it. Pretty good coverage on the play, but he still got it there, and it would have been a completion had he been able to hang on to the football on the good coverage.
2nd and 10.
Here we see Kramer 7 of 13 for 76 yards. And of course, Testaverde 8 of 17 for 135.
Kramer cooled off a bit after a hot start, rather. He threw 5 straight incompletions to end the first half. Flag thrown in as the reception is made by Ron Hall. And if the play stands, he has a first down at the Lion 38-yard line. Testaverde indicating it's against the Lions.
And here again, I mentioned this early, but Hall is one of the premier tight ends in the league when he's healthy. Got good hands and runs well once he makes the catch.
Illegal contact, defense, penalty is declined. Take the result of the play. First down.
That's Hall's first catch of the day. Wayne Fonts watched Hall make 8 catches in the first game between these two teams this year at Detroit on September 29th. Lions won the earlier meeting this year 31-3. Testaverde slipped down. Then he got it off the Cobb. They turned what looked to be a loss into a gain to the 32-yard line. Chris Spielman made the tackle.
That's what you call composure, awareness. You know, most guys would have fallen down and stayed down, but he hit the deck and came right back up, spotted the receiver and got it downfield and made some yardage on the play. Terrific play by Testaverde. Let's take a look at it again. Watch, he goes in, looks like he's snow there on that design. He slipped and fell, came back up and got the ball right in the mid, to Cobb, and he makes the catch. Terrific awareness on the play.
On 2nd and 4, back to the run with Cobb through a nice hole. First down, Buccaneers. Down at the 24-yard line, William White made the tackle.
And Taylor and Beckles again. Good blocking at the point. Let's take a look at it on the right side of the line. Right here. Right there. Look at the takeoff on the play. Look at the good push. And another good block also by Wilson on the fullback on the outside guy. Terrific push on the play.
2 minutes into the third quarter. Tampa Bay with a 23-7 lead, and the Buccaneers are driving.
A lot of room on the right side to throw the ball one-on-one. And they run left again. Nope, there he is.
Off the play action fake. It is incomplete.
See, that kind of a play is very deceptive in that you look at the formation. You got a receiver on the right side with one-on-one coverage. Why go through all the faking and all the other paraphernalia? Just throw the ball out there. You got one-on-one, throw it to him. Let a guy catch it and make yardage on the play. Instead, they fool around with it, try to do fancy things, and by the time they get through, putzing around out there with the ball while the guy's covered.
Second and 10 for the Bucs at the 24 of Detroit. Robert Wilson lost the football, and the Lions have recovered. Dan Owens recovered the fumble by Wilson. A much-needed big break for Detroit.
Yeah, that's the way they have to get back in this game. They got to get something done with their defense and also their specialty teams, and improve their situation from a field position standpoint. They've had terrible field position most of this game. This is a good break for the Detroit Lions.
Spielman knocked it free. Owens recovered. And the Lions go on offense when we come back.
All right, here's Spielman, and here's the ball carrier, and watch what happens. He makes the tackle, Spielman does, knocks the ball loose, and provides a great opportunity. There you see, scrapes the ball loose, has the composure to make the tackle, but still scrape the ball in the process.
First and 10 for the Lions at their own 22. They trailed 23-7 with 12:36 to play in the third quarter. Sanders pulled down from behind by Broderick Thomas.
See, again, 7 in the box. 7 in the box.
Well, Wayne Fonte said if they do that, we will pass the ball. But when they did it in the first half, Tampa Bay and Detroit passed. They didn't pass very successfully.
Yeah, look at the box again right in here. Look at the 7 guys, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Too many folks. He has to try. He delays a little bit trying to get outside. The only place he can run, all the gaps are full, but he can't get there because the pursuit is so keen.
Second and 7. Sanders threw a good hole that time, and he's close to a first down.
They've got to do more of that. They got to run at the bubble. The bubble means where the linebacker is off the line of scrimmage a little bit, run at him, and either go right at him, and if he fills the hole, break off to the other side and pick up an advantage on the pursuit angles, and you'll make yardage. Going sideways is not the answer.
It is a first down for Detroit at their own 33-yard line.
They got 7 again.
And they try to run again. And Sanders ahead for a game before he was tripped up by Gerald Nichols, number 77.
Looks like they had 2 tight ends in the game again, at least 7 on 7 that time. And when you do that, that's what you have to do. You have to get the odds in your favor, make it even at least 7 on 7, and just let Sanders run.
Far cry from the first meeting of the season between these two teams when Sanders rushed for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a career-long run of 69 yards. Second and 5. Looked like the right side of the Detroit offensive line was moving ahead of the snap.
See, that's what they're doing. They got 7 now. They got 7 on the line of scrimmage. They've abandoned their silver stretch, which is a good move. They haven't been able to use it efficiently.
5-yard penalty. We'll replay second down.
And now they're going with 7 on 7 and hoping they can get. And what you ought to do too, take some pretty good splits to increase that distance between alignment, so that you give Sanders more room to get into the cracks. Tampa defense, Floyd Peters has done a terrific job of defense in this offensive formation of the Detroit Lions. And what's more important is the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are executing the plan very well.
Procedure penalty against Detroit. against Sean Bowens. 5-yard walk-off, now 2nd and 10. And whistle stopped the play.
You know, I really don't know why they...
Offense, fouls prior to the snap, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
I don't know why they go in the huddle. You know, you got 4 wide receivers. You know you got to count up in the line of scrimmage. Just get on the line of scrimmage without a huddle and look at the defense. You got plenty of time to make the reads and run the ball.
The Lions backing up. They've had 7 offensive penalties in 6 offensive possessions in this game. Sanders. He may go. For the first time today, we see evidence of the brilliance of Barry Sanders as he goes all the way to the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. Marty Carter saved the touchdown. A 40-yard gain for Sanders.
Incredible. There's no place to go. That should have been a loss. Takes a stutter step. It was going to be a play to the outside. Look at, can't go any place. Look at the great vision. Breaks all the way over to the left side. And breaks into the open. Down the field he goes. And he's finally knocked out of bounds after that long run. What a fantastic run by Barry Sanders.
He was the NFL's leading rusher last year. Finished 2nd in the NFL in rushing 2 years ago. Lions with 2 first downs on this drive. Their first 2 since the first quarter. Now the option, but a flag flies in.
That was a good time for the option. They only had 1 guy outside of the tight end. Anytime you only have 1 guy out there, why, you've got to run the option.
Offense, foul is prior to the snap.
Another delay of game
penalty. Still 1st down.
Boy, that's... Watch again this time. Now look, only 1 guy outside of the tight end on the right side. Right there, 1 guy, and that's why they ran the option. That's the play to run against that defense.
1st and 15. Sanders stopped at the line of scrimmage by Broderick Thomas.
See, the other thing they got to do with, I think, Barry Sanders is send him in motion and throw him the ball out in the flat. If they go with him, why, fine. He's got 1-on-1. If they don't, he's going to be wide open. But at least you got to stretch that defense even more than they have, and you got to find some way to continue to get the ball to Barry Sanders. You can't let the defense dictate that and say you're not going to get the ball to him. You got to find a way to get it to him.
Second and 15. Tampa Bay leads 23-7 as we approach the midway point of the 3rd quarter. Robert Clark with the catch. First down for the Lions at the 21-yard line.
I think that's only the 2nd vertical pass they've completed so far in this game. Looked like he was double coverage, and he threw right between the guys. It was a great throw on the part of Kramer.
First catch of the day for Robert Clark, who was inactive the last 2 games due to injury.
Clark had a broken finger last year, and he winds up with another one this year.
Coach Fonts likes the way Kramer throws the ball. He said he's a better thrower than Rodney Peete. Sanders collared down by Keith McCants after a gain to the 18-yard line. And an injured Buck on the play. It is McCants. Floyd Peters was talking yesterday about McCants' adjustment from linebacker to defensive end. He's handled that move very well. 23-7 Bucks. We're back after this. Well, good news for the Bucks as Keith McCants is back on his feet. He walked off the field under his own power. He has to come out for one play since the training staff tended to him.
Like Tanel, 46, blocking McCann. Now he wears him off in good shape and gets away from him and makes the tackle. They think the world of this guy. They think he's going to be a great, great player, and they're comparing him right now to Chris Dolman, where he was at that same stage of his career.
Sanders nearly scored. He was tripped up by the last man who had a chance to tackle him, and that was Tony Covington, as again the Lions went to the option play.
An option is terrific in professional football when you run it at the right time. Here again, only one guy on the outside of the tight end. They tossed the ball to him, and look at how quickly he makes that break between people. They had an angle on him before they got there. He was gone and down on the 5-yard line.
First and goal for the Lions from the 5-yard line. Sanders with his patented cutback and a touchdown.
There again, they had a tight end on that side, man on man, and he hit the crack. He's got such great vision, great eyes, that he makes the cut inside and goes straight ahead for the touchdown, and that's really the effective way to take advantage of this defense the way they're playing. Watch it again. Watch the left side. You got a bubble over the left guard. Handle sack, but he cuts back on the inside of that block and goes right in the end zone for the touchdown. Thomas, number 51, was involved in the tackle.
Fonts, offensive coordinator Dave Levy and Erik Kramer talking about an impressive drive. They capitalized on the fumble by Robert Wilson. Eddie Murray trying to make it a 9-point game. And he does. 2 touchdowns today for Barry Sanders. He's now scored 9 on the ground this year, 10 in all, and we're back after this. Detroit back within 9 with 5:52 to play in the third quarter, following a 78-yard touchdown drive, capped by a 5-yard run by Sanders. 77 of the 78 yards came from Barry Sanders. We talked at halftime about did they get away from Sanders a little bit too hastily in the first half. Well, they got back to him in a hurry here in the second half.
Yeah, they found a way with formation to get the ball to him more often in the second half.
Gary Anderson returned the kickoff to the 30-yard line. That's where the Bucs begin. 1st and 10. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS continues with doubleheader action in the early game. Most of you will see Minnesota at Green Bay. Then in the late games, it's either Dallas against the New York Giants or the Los Angeles Rams against Detroit. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, the last word before kickoff. Dallas at 6-3 coming into today's action. They're not looking ahead to the Giants. They lead Houston, and Houston 13-10 at the moment. Reggie Cobb out to the 39-yard line for a gain of 9 on first down.
Highsmith, number 32, did a good job of blocking on the play that provide good running room for Cobb.
2nd and 1. Ball at the 39-yard line.
Second and 1 for Tampa Bay. They stick with Cobb, and it will be close to a first down as he was driven back by Chris Spielman.
He didn't get there as quickly as he normally does. That time there was a good hole right over the left guard. Had they been able to hit it a little quicker, they would have been made the yardage very easy.
We're going to look this one over with a measurement. Reggie Cobb picking up right where he left off last week. He had the best game of his career last Sunday at the Metrodome against the Vikings. He rushed for 93 yards. And he picked up the first down.
The thing about him, he's got to carry the ball more. See, he's come into the game averaging 9 carries a game. That's not enough for a good back. They just got getting cranked up and warmed up after 10 or 12 carries. They got to carry the ball 20, 25 times a game to really get in the stream of things.
He's carried 14 times today for 55 yards.
And he'll be better in the fourth quarter than he has been so far. You watch.
1st and 10. They stick with Cobb to the left.
Cut back. Oh, what a good block downfield.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
What a great block downfield, and he made the moves, the right moves. Good vision, good balance on the play.
A 59-yard touchdown run by Reggie Cobb. And he is over 100 yards rushing for the first time in his career.
Watch Highsmith, number 32. He's coming out, lead the play, gets a good block on the outside. He makes a cutback between two would-be tacklers. Now watch the block downfield. Can't tell who that is. Yeah, Dossie, that's who it was, number 80, throwing the block downfield, and that's what you call hustle. That's the kind of stuff you have to do when you win.
Reggie Cobb is the first Tampa Bay Buck to ever score 3 rushing touchdowns in a game. He's done that today. Tampa Bay, when Cobb had 2 touchdowns, had gone 32 games without 2 rushing touchdowns in the same game prior to Cobb doing that today. Back to 1989, November 5th of 89 against Cleveland, when they had 2 rushing touchdowns in a game. Well, they have 3 today, all of them from Reggie Cobb.
Yeah, you know, and I can't emphasize enough the importance of running backs being able to run the ball. It's ridiculous around the National Football League. So many great backs that carry the ball 8, 9, 10 times a game when they should be carrying it 20, 25 times a game. And today is a great illustration. The more you run, the better you run, and the more yardage you're going to make.
Ball start. The right guard moving back prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
59-yard touchdown run for Cobb, the longest run of his career. And as we mentioned, he's over 100 yards for the first time in his career, now with 114 yards on 15 carries.
And that was very, very good running, taking advantage of angles and situations, running between 2 people, getting a good block downfield, taking advantage of the block. That's what big league running is all about.
Steve Christie added the extra point. On a chilly day in Tampa, the homestanding Buccaneers in search of their 2nd victory of the season. Their only win this year over Philadelphia. They lead Detroit 30-14 with 4:28 left in the 3rd quarter. Sean McDonough along with Hank Stram. The Buccaneers about to kick off, and you thought, Hank, that after that touchdown by Detroit, they might have a little momentum, but Tampa Bay has responded every time they needed to today.
Yeah, they came right back and took it away again.
Don Overton with the return to the short line drive kickoff, and he brought it out to the 33-yard line. And now some pushing and shoving after the play.
That's a boys will be boys deal there. Nothing much to that. You can take another look at the touchdown run. Now watch the block of the fullback. 32. Watch right in here. Look at that block on Spielman. Beautiful block by Highsmith. Makes a good route. White makes White miss. And watch now number 80 come down looking for somebody to block, and there it is. Dossie blocks Jenkins on the play, and he goes all the way for the touchdown. You talk about a beautifully executed play. That's the way you draw it up on the blackboard, and that's when you make touchdowns.
On 1st down, they give it to Sanders. He crossed the 35 and went down at the 36-yard line in the arms of Tim Newton.
And Sanders has rushed the ball 10 times on 1st and 10 for 30 yards for a 3-point average. So they're ganging up on him a little bit on 1st and 10, but he's doing a lot of damage in 2nd and 3rd. But again, I think typical of what we talked about a moment ago, the great backs get better and better and better the more they carry the ball, and they're always a lot better in the 4th quarter than they are in the first 3 quarters.
Of course, you had the big 40-yard run as part of that 61-yard total on carries 11 through 15. Play action pass for Kramer. Man open is Clark and went through his hands. Throw wasn't right on the money, but it was certainly catchable, and Robert Clark couldn't come up with it at the 50-yard line.
You have to have great concentration to catch the ball coming across the middle. If you're not careful, you hear the footsteps or you anticipate getting hit, you lose the concentration, and all of a sudden the ball goes right through your hands. Only one thought that you have to have when you're coming across that middle, or anytime you catch the ball, you've got to be concentrated totally on catching the football. That's first.
3rd and 8. Detroit 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions today. They blitz. Kramer lost the ball. Keith McCants has it for Tampa Bay at the 27-yard line. Broderick Thomas knocked the ball out of the hand of Erik Kramer.
He was coming from the backside. And watch Thomas, 51. Now the defensive end goes outside. He comes inside. He's got such great quickness. Sanders does not block him. He is supposed to block him. I think he was looking for him on the outside. He came inside, got the hit. And of course, there you see McCants very happy about the play.
3rd turnover for Detroit. Kramer's been involved in all 3. He's fumbled twice and thrown an interception. Anderson crossed the 25 and went down at the 24. A gain of 2 for Gary Anderson. The Buccaneers trying to pull off the upset. They lead 30-14 with 3:10 to play in the 3rd quarter, and they have it 2nd and 8 at the Lion 24.
2nd and 8.
Broderick Thomas, 1st-round draft pick in 1989 out of Nebraska, the 6th player selected overall that year.
And he's getting better and better and better every time you see him play.
Anderson slipped down as he tried to cut back and picked up 2 more to the 22.
They got 2 very talented running backs in Anderson and Cobb. Both are capable of ginning anytime they get their hands on the football.
36.
I think Robert Wilson is going to become an excellent fullback. He came out of Texas A&M after his junior year. He has all the makings of an excellent blocking fullback.
Yeah, he's going to be terrific. He's like a guard playing fullback, the way he blocks.
Movement before the snap. Looked like, in particular, the right side of the Tampa Bay line was moving back into pass protection. Beckles and Taylor.
False start, number 62 and 72. Moving prior to the snaps, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
It was Beckles and Taylor in tandem.
And they got to be careful, especially the tackle. A lot of times the tackle is so concerned about blocking that in that he gets off the line of scrimmage a little bit. He's almost in the backfield like a receiver, and the officials are going to call it for an illegal formation.
The Lions in an all-out blitz. Testaverde throws complete, but short of a 1st down is Mark Carrier at the 18-yard line. Short by about 2 yards, and here comes the field goal team.
And you can tell watching Testaverde, he's got total command of the huddle and total command of this football team. He's playing and throwing with a lot of confidence. He knows that he's getting good pass protection. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball, look for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd receivers, and that's what being a quarterback is all about. You can't go back there and throw it like a hand grenade. You got to have time to throw it.
36-yard try for Christie. No good. His 1st miss of the day.
He was coming close on that upright on that left side to his left side, and he finally got it over on the other side. Missed it. That means his left foot was pointed in that direction instead of down the middle.
So it remains a 16-point lead for the Bucs with 1:15 left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that time it looked like his left foot was pretty good, actually. It was straight away. But it looked like, see, he was on the left hash mark, and so you have to aim it a little bit inside to get it between the uprights. It might have been 2 straights for the upright on the left side.
Sanders to the right. Cuts it back to the middle. And gain 7 out to the 27. Jesse Solomon made the tackle for Tampa Bay.
See, that time both guards pulled, and they got in his way, actually. They didn't get a chance to block at all. Talking about Andelsek on the left side, and also Utley on the right side. He cut between both of them. He saw the cavity, took advantage of it, made yardage on his own. Never had a chance to use the guards. They were a little bit too slow getting out.
Sanders now over 100 yards, 18 carries, 101 yards. His 5th 100-yard game of the season. Looking for more, and he picks up the first down out to the 32.
Another good straight ahead shot. They seem to make good yardage any time they run straight ahead. That time they ran over Sanders, Erik Sanders, and Utley, and got the push they needed for the first down.
It looks like the Lions will have to hurry to get off another play, and they won't even bother now. They'll let the 3rd quarter expire. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Tampa Bay 30 and Detroit 14. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Stram, happy to have you with us from Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers lead 30-14 as we head to the 4th quarter. First and 10 for the Lions. From their own 32, Kramer dumps it off for Sanders. He's back to the line of scrimmage and struggles ahead for a yard. Keith McCants made the tackle, but not without a fight from Sanders. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since 1976, have been the least successful franchise in all of professional sports. That's among teams that have played at least 5 seasons, not the recent expansion teams in the NBA, for example. Tampa Bay has won just 29% of its games, and it's really unfortunate because Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the Buccaneers, is one of the great gentlemen in all of sports.
I tell you, no other owner that I can remember has come into the league at a late stage and has been such a dominant force as he has been. He's been a terrific owner, and eventually, hopefully, this thing will get turned around and they'll start winning and have the kind of a team he deserves.
Kramer found Brett Perryman for a gain to the 49-yard line of Tampa Bay, a gain of 18, before Tony Covington chased him out. First down for the Lions.
Perryman was a great acquisition, but from the New Orleans Saints by the Lions. He's really been an outstanding receiver and is just tailor-made for the silver stretch.
He was their leading receiver coming into the game with 27 receptions. He was in Jim Moore's doghouse down there in New Orleans. Acquired for a draft pick just prior to the start of the year. Flags thrown.
Looked like we had a reverse coming in that play.
False start. Number 64, Detroit, moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And that's Erik Sanders, the right tackle. 9 Detroit penalties on offense today. First and 15. Kramer over the middle, man open, Perryman. First down, Lions at the 30-yard line. Again, Tony Covington made the tackle.
And that was a good read and a good reaction and good poise by Erik Kramer on the play, rolling to his right. You get a look at him here. Fakes to the flat, and then right about the time he was going to get a shot in the smush, he throws the ball to Perryman and makes the completion.
That was Dexter Manley delivering the shot to Kramer. Gain of 24. Sanders running left.
Here's the counter play again. It seems like when they pull people, they're not fast enough. They get in his way more than they do help him. He looks like he's better off running straight ahead on his own and making the moves on his own without getting any help.
2nd and 6.
Watch Perriman is also, they're getting a double team on McCants. He still tries to stay with him, but McCants does a great job of warding off the block, gets pursuit from the inside, slows him down enough where other people come in and help and knock him out of bounds.
2nd and 6. The Bucs lead 30-14 with 12:15 left in the 4th quarter. Completion to Robert Clark for a first down. He's out of bounds at the 17.
Ricky Reynolds covering defensively.
I tell you one thing about Kramer, you never get the feeling he's looking for the gas pipe. He's always under control. A lot of poise, a lot of confidence, hangs in there till something happens and gets the ball to him.
Kramer, the ACC Player of the Year in 1986 with North Carolina State, and then what an odyssey he had. Spent 88 and part of 89 with Calgary, the CFL, played in some replacement games for Atlanta in 1988.
And we asked him the other day, was there ever a time where you felt you wanted to quit? He says never.
Sanders spins inside the 10, and he's close to another first down at the 8-yard line.
Another illustration, going straight ahead. Just read the blocks and get up the field. That's what he likes to do, and that's what he does so well. When he tries to have to wait for guys who will pull, he doesn't seem to be, as I mentioned a moment ago, nearly as efficient because there's too many guys in his way.
Sanders had 14 yards rushing at the half. He now has 118 yards.
I tell you, Wayne Fonts and his coaching staff have done a terrific job with this Detroit Lion team.
2nd and 1. Play action pass. Derek Tennell, the tight end, down to the 1. 1st and goal for the Lions. William Frizzell made the tackle.
William Frizzell on the tackle.
Well, here again, they had the noose around his neck again on Kramer, and he still got rid of the football in good shape and got the ball to Terrell on the pass in the flat.
Again, Tracy Hayworth, the linebacker, comes in to check into the backfield. And number 66, who we saw a moment ago, Sean Bowens, is an eligible receiver. Kramer takes it in himself. Well, one official started to signal touchdown. It is touchdown. After a moment's hesitation, the officials concur, and the Lions have 6 more.
You know, Derek Tennell has done a good job here this afternoon. Got a good block earlier in the game, and now he makes a catch and take the ball down close for the touchdown. He's making a contribution, and that's what is so important. Kramer looks like he is a little gimpy. I couldn't see what happened to him. He takes it over. One of those big guys must have fallen on him, and that's enough to give you a pain someplace.
The Tampa Bay lead is again 9 following the first rushing touchdown of the season by Erik Kramer.
This game summary is sponsored by McLean Deluxe.
Back in Tampa, where the Buccaneers are having by far their best offensive day of the season. Barry Sanders is trying to lead the Detroit Lions back from a big halftime deficit. Reggie Cobb with his first 100-yard rushing game of his career. And Andre Ware started warming up along the Lions sideline as Erik Kramer was injured in scoring the touchdown that made it a 9-point game.
I'll tell you one thing about Ware. He's got a fastball. He really makes that thing hum.
Short kick by Murray. Robert Hardy trying to get outside, cuts it inside. And finally, they corralled him down at the 42-yard line.
We'll take another look at the touchdown, see what happened to Kramer. It looks like he got hit in the head, in the helmet, by Marv, number 99. Right in the middle of the picture there. It looks like he gives him a little bump, and maybe that's what the problem was on the play.
Kramer was 5 for 5 passing on the touchdown drive.
I tell you, the other thing is very obvious here this afternoon. The Lions specialty teams have not done a good job on coverage.
Cobb out to the 46 for a gain of 3. Time, the ally of the Bucs. We're under 10 minutes to play.
See, they started the game running that play, a play similar to that, made good yardage on it, ran it a couple other times for good yardage. They got away from it, and now they're going back to it. I think it's very important on the sideline that you chart plays, which they do, and are fully aware of what plays have been good, and if they've been good, to go back to them and get some repetition. A lot of times they run some good plays, and you never see them again.
Good news for the Lions, as it appears that Kramer is okay. Our report from the sideline is he will return. The Bucs taking their time getting out of the huddle. As we approach 9 minutes remaining. Second and 6.
If they run, there they are, boys.
Cobb behind the block at Highsmith. Picked up 2. Dennis Gibson made the tackle. Benny Blades also in on the play.
They're matriculating it a little bit now, aren't they?
All those from the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay. Third and 4.
Yeah, one thing that's very obvious, they've kind of taken ball out of the game, and that they've continued to run outside right, off tackle right, left. Very, very seldomly have they done anything with the old height and a little up the middle.
Coach Williamson said the strength of Lion defense is up the middle with Ball and Spielman, the safeties.
He's already an off-floor player. Why demonstrate that he should be on it again this year?
Dawsey struggling for the first down, and he did not appear to get it. He almost did with the second effort, but the Lions appeared to stop him short by a yard, and they did, and Tampa Bay will punt.
There's another great illustration of what a hustler he is, what a hard worker he is, what a determined player he is. Well, there's still plenty of time left for the Lions. They're 1 play and a half away from being back in this game.
Mel Gray waiting for the punt from Mark Royals.
See if they go after this. You got to somehow, some way get some good field position.
Fair catch made by Gray at the 17-yard line. A 32-yard punt. 7:45 to play. Lions on offense after this. Crunch time here in Tampa. 7:45 left. Lions with the ball, trailing by 9. They're looking at 1st and 10.
And here again, they got 7 on 7, 2 tight ends.
Sanders got back to the line, and that's all. This is a very important game for the Detroit Lions. They start the day 1 game behind Chicago, and it's a tough road ahead for Detroit. They return home next week to entertain the Los Angeles Rams, and they're at Minnesota, home with the Bears on Thanksgiving, home with the New York Jets, and then they finish with 2 road games at Green Bay and at Buffalo.
You know, I think the other thing that's very important for Detroit to do, their slot people are very close to the offensive tackles. It looks like if they put the slot out wider, they'd make the linebackers go out or stay in. They'd have an advantage one way or the other against a run.
A small but very vocal crowd here at Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida, watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers try to upset the Detroit Lions. The Bucs lead 30-21 with 7:13 to play. Sean McDonough and Hank Stram as Tampa Bay looks for its 2nd win of the season. 2nd and 10 for the Lions from their own 18. Kramer has a man open. Clark picks up the first down, and he drives all the way out to the 32-yard line. Jesse Solomon and Ricky Reynolds made the tackle.
A lot of room on that outside, and there again they hit the flat. That's the spot to hit, and they can do it even on either side without making any motion if they make the slot area a lot wider, moving the slot man out a little wider than he is right now. He's too close to the tackle.
1st and 10. Clock running, 6:47 remaining. Detroit has all 3 of its timeouts left. Kramer complete, and out of bounds goes Brett Perryman at the 36-yard line. It's been a pleasure being here with you. How's your golf game?
Well, handicap as good as 3. How you like that? The putter of the irons in the woods.
2nd and 6. Sanders gets nothing. Back to the line, and that's all. Tim Newton made the tackle.
You run that play, you run it like you don't like the running back. They got 7 on 5 again that time. No way you can get through there. There again, look at all the people. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. And of course, they got a double tight end, so they're still a man short. They get penetration. No place in the world to run.
Newton's had a fine game.
You talk about nose people. He has really had a good game here this afternoon.
3rd and 6. Kramer intercepted. Alonzo Hampton brings it back to the Detroit 47.
Well, that was strictly a no. It was a bad pass. All it was a bad pass. Bad judgment, which he hasn't done at all here this afternoon, except that time.
4 turnovers for Detroit, 2 Kramer fumbles, and 2 interceptions. That is the first interception of Alonzo Hampton's career. He's a second-year player out of Pitt.
Here we see him again rolling a little bit to his right, and he throws that and kind of falling away into a crowd. He was trying to hit the guy in the slot. He didn't get it far enough. And number 22, Alonzo Hampton, makes the interception. Bad throw.
Now the Buccaneers are trying to work on the clock. Reggie Cobb down to the 40, wrapped up by Benny Blades. We're down to 5:09 remaining, and Tampa Bay has a 9-point lead.
The offensive linemen in this kind of a game love it when they run, and succeed in the running game. That's exactly what they've done here this afternoon. And the offensive linemen of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are all smiles.
Second and 3.
Let's see if they run left here. Well, they go the other way.
And perhaps they should have run left.
Well, they had an advantage on the left side, and they thought maybe it was too easy the other way. They're going to do it the hard way.
Cobb got to the 39, actually just inside the 40, and it's 3rd down and 3. With 4:10 to play. We saw Wayne Fonz tell his defense if they stop the Bucs here, call a timeout. 3 timeouts remaining for Detroit. Cobb stacked up and driven back. Mark Spindler ran into Reggie Cobb, and they did stop him short, and Coach Fonz gets the quick timeout.
Well, that was a load that time. What a hit.
The crowd wants him to go for it, and when you're 1-8, why not? Well, because you want to win, so the smart thing to do is punt them in, and that's what they'll do after this.
Whoa, 50 Studebaker.
Yeah.
Hey, we had one of these when I was a kid.
Weird.
Yeah. The other kids called it a stupid Baker because it looked the same from the front as it did from the back.
And that's a classic.
Right. Hey, I should buy it and put a sign on it that says, "Now who's stupid?"
I don't know. Would you put the sign on the front or the back?
Oh, cute.
Relax. You're among friends. Levi's 100% cotton Dockers.
Sean McDonough and Hank Stram back at Tampa Stadium. 30-21, and they will punt. Make Detroit do it the hard way. Following the game, the NFL Today postgame show. Greg and Terry with scores and highlights from around the NFL. Royals with the infield fly rule in effect. Got a good bounce, a great bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 9-yard line. A 30-yard punt, but perfectly done by Mark Royals.
That's the old elevator ball. Kick it as high as you possibly can and hope that it gets down there in good shape where you recover it. He did it beautifully.
Richard Williamson looking for just his 3rd win as Tampa Bay coach. He took over with 3 games remaining last year for Ray Perkins. He went 1-2 in those 3 games, and he's 1-8 this year. And the results of these games may determine Richard Williamson's fate as far as the future is concerned with the Tampa Bay Bucs.
I tell you one thing, they've got some good young talent on his football team. They just have to get them together and be patient.
Brett Perryman is open. All the way to the 49 of Tampa Bay. A fine throw by Kramer and a 42-yard gain.
And Perryman was wide open. He was in the slot that time. Going right down between the zone. They're playing a zone defense. He goes between the corner and the safety man. And he is wide open.
Kramer dumps it underneath to Sanders. He's down to the 42. 2:39 remaining and the clock is running. Perryman today 5 catches for 120 yards. That is his first career 100-yard plus receiving game. 2nd and 4. 2:20 to play. Kramer down the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Green. He had Perryman open over the middle.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't understand that time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were trying to get in the right position. Their defensive backs, they didn't know where to line up, and they waited for them to get set. They should have snapped the ball and taken advantage of the fact that there were some guys, 1 or 2 guys missing on the left side of the coverage.
Flag for a holding penalty against Mike Utley of Detroit. That moves the Lions back into their own territory at the 47-yard line.
Wayne Fonts has to be disappointed in the way this thing has worked out but yesterday again he kept talking about the fact that it always scares you when you play a team like this. You know they're better than their record indicates, and you never know when they're going to explode and play a game like they're supposed to, and that's what they've done here this afternoon.
2nd and 14. Kramer going deep for Green, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Alonzo Hampton.
Pass intended for Green. Alonzo Hampton covering the
2:08 remaining.
Well, we saw Detroit win a game like this against Minnesota several weeks ago. There was a little bit more time on the clock. Specifically, I think 6:38 in the game, and they came back and scored 3 times. They're still only 2 games out of this game, and if they can get one easy, kick an onside kick, they could be back in business again.
3rd and 14. The Lions 0 for 7 on 3rd down today. Movement and flags fly. Gerald Nichols, the nose man, made contact with the center.
And we talked to Nichols yesterday, and you know, he played for the Jets. He's kind of an undersized nose man, but he's very quick, very agile.
Number 77 defense, contact prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
A little too quick and agile there.
And very hard to block one-on-one because of his quickness. He, too, mentioned the other day he couldn't get over the great attitude of this team after coming here with the record they have, why to be as enthusiastic as they have been in practice.
3rd down and 9. The pass is caught for a first down. Robert Clark inside the 35-yard line as we go to the 2-minute warning. With the score, Tampa Bay 30 and Detroit 21.
You made me love you. You made me want you.
You know you want the luscious taste of McDonald's Big Mac. Add fries and a Coke for a deal that's irresistible. The extra value meal at McDonald's today.
You know you made me love you.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
How do you get comfortable?
I wear Comfort Tech shoes by Florishine. I'll tell you, they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. Try a pair for 30 days. If you don't agree, you'll get your money back. Get Comfort Tech by Florishine and get comfortable.
Time after time, vintage clothing of Hollywood. Are you saving what you'd hoped since leaving AT&T? Claremont Riding Academy of New York. Are you waiting longer for calls to connect? We want you back. AT&T Pro Watts, a discount plan with very competitive prices. Switch now and get 1 month of long distance free. We want you back. Call 1-800-222-0400.
Tonight, 60 Minutes details with pictures one of the tragedies of the Gulf War. Americans killed by Americans by mistake. It's a story you won't soon forget. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote. Then it's the CBS Sunday movie My Son Johnny, starring Michelle Lee and Rick Schroeder. That's all tonight on CBS. Still 2 minutes to play here in Tampa. Buccaneers with a 30-21 lead and the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10 for the Lions at the 33 of Tampa Bay. Kramer grabbed and thrown down by Keith McCants. 4th sack today for Tampa Bay.
McCants is something. You let him rush the passer with one thing to do, he's going to be tremendous. We watch him. Here we go again.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16. Kramer out of bounds goes Willie Green at the 30. He got the 6 yards back and 3 more.
Hampton covering defensively.
2 timeouts left for each team with 1:37 to play.
8 of 9, 3rd down.
We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the last 2 minutes. The last few weeks. Last week we had Atlanta and the 49ers, and that game was decided on the last play of the game with the old Big Ben play.
3rd down and 7.
There's a total blitz again.
And it's incomplete. Green didn't see it, and he kept running up the field as Kramer was expecting him to cut to the sideline. And now the Buccaneer fans say, why isn't that grounding? He called it on Vinny Testaverde earlier. But I think it was more of a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver.
Yeah, that's what it was, very obviously. Floyd Peters has to be happy about the way that defense is played. He thinks they have a lot of talent and a good future. They just are making mistakes that young people make. But by the end of the season, hopefully they're going to get better and better and better.
Well, they need a touchdown and a field goal. So facing 4th down and 7, they're going to try a long field goal for Eddie Murray. A 47-yard attempt, which would match his longest of the season. And is it possible that the Lions took too much time again? Yes, it is.
That's amazing. how you could take too much time on a field goal attempt, especially when you get it.
Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Now Frank Gans, the special teams coach, and Fonts talk it over. It would now have to be a 52-yarder, and apparently that's too long for Eddie Murray. So that is a crucial mistake, and the Lions made a number of those today. They have to go for it on 4th and 12.
Well, they got a three-man rush, 8 guys going back.
He has to run. He won't get there. Perriman threw the ball forward, knowing he would not get a first down, and the flag comes down. Well, it was worth the try for Brett Perriman, because he was 5 yards short of a first down and going down. He threw the ball ahead, but the officials spotted it and threw the flag.
Very tough loss for the Detroit Lions if it turns out to be that kind of a game. But you have to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers an awful lot of credit for the way they played both offensively and defensively, consistently so during the course of this contest.
Well, that's true, Hank. The team that played better today won the football game. That's the Tampa Bay Bucs.
That's exactly it. Plus the fact, you know, in defense of the Detroit Lions, they really had terrible field position most of the game.
Perriman being tended to along the sideline, and Hugh Culverhouse looks down on a rare Tampa Bay win.
Well, Mr. Culverhouse has to be happy about the way his team played, and he said before the game on the field, I hope this is the day. I have a good feeling about the game. They practiced well. The last time we were here, he had to make an apology to the fans for the way they played. They were terrible, especially in the first quarter, a game they lost to the Green Bay Packers.
Timeout called by Detroit with 1:07 remaining. So this loss will drop the Lions to 6-4, and we chronicled earlier the tough schedule that they have ahead, including the Rams next week at the Pontiac Silverdome. Then they go to Minnesota, home games with Chicago and the Jets, and on the road to finish the season at Green Bay and Buffalo.
You know, another interesting thing, Sean, is the fact that the Bucs allowed 36 sacks in the first 9 games of the season. In this game this afternoon, none. Which is, we talked about what a great job the offensive line has done. It's a great tribute to them. No sacks.
Tampa Bay had been, in all honesty, a terrible offensive football team prior to this week. They look like a terrific offensive team today. That's the schedule that we spoke of a moment ago. The next 5 weeks for the Lions, and there are no soft touches in that remaining schedule.
No, there sure aren't. It used to be, you know, years ago, you could look down the schedule and say, I think we'll win this one, we'll win this one. You can't do that anymore today. You never know who's going to show up today in the game and how tough the game's going to be.
The Lions are out of timeouts with 1:03 remaining. And Richard Williamson gets his 3rd win as an NFL head coach. And will Coach Williamson have a chance for other wins? Well, they're at Atlanta next week. Then home with the Giants, at Miami, home against Minnesota, and at Chicago.
No piece of cake there either.
No, indeed. The Lions cannot stop the clock.
You know, I talked about the field position. 12 total possessions by the Detroit Lions. 8 of those possessions started at their own 20-yard line or worse. Boy, that's murder.
A lot of times you hear coaches say, I'm really pleased with the way my team practiced all week. I'm pleased with their attitude, given that we're 1-8 football team. A lot of times you hear coach say that and you kind of dismiss it as typical coach talk, but the players demonstrated that what Richard Williamson told us yesterday is true. They haven't given up. They played a very intense football game today.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, too, you know, you get down so low, you find someplace you hit bottom, there's no place to go but back up again. You bounce back up, and looked like today was the kind of a day that was.
For Wayne Fonts, in many respects, this was a return home. We've seen him several times today shaking hands and hugging people, as he was for 9 years an assistant coach here in Tampa. Once again, the final score from Tampa Stadium is Tampa Bay 30 and Detroit 21. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. Greg and Terry will have all the scores, highlights, and latest information.